everyone, great to see you again. So my name's Mike.
I'm Fred.
I'm Costas.
I'm Raul, welcome.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed the first Samba lesson. So now we're going to move on to lesson number 2. Today, we're not going to teach again any of the rhythms that we taught last time. If this is, and you haven't seen video number 1, please go and watch that now before you watch this video to make sure you know all the parts we learnt before. Because in Samba, there's lots of different instruments and we haven't got time to teach all the different instruments in every video. So this one, we're going to move on to something that's called the Agogo. So let's just have a look at, who's got a go? Fred, have you got an Agogo?
Oh yeah, I've got one.
Yeah, great. Okay, so Fred, the only thing is though, you taught us the pseudo part before. Costas hasn't taught us anything yet. So maybe, could you just, I don't know, how are you going to get the Agogo to Costas?
I'll just throw it to him, shall I?
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, amazing. Wow.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much.
So look at that. You can see, because there is Fred right in front of Sugarloaf Mountain. You can see in the distance behind Costas, he's got Sugarloaf Mountain as well. Amazing. So, right, okay. Costas, that was fun.
Hello.
Go on, show us, how do we play the Agogo?
Hello, everyone. Here it is, the Agogo. It's one of the oldest instruments in the Samba, and definitely it's the most high-pitched instrument. And also, it's very loud. It's made out of iron, and the way we're going to hold it like this. We're going to place our like this, our hands like this, and we are going to have our Agogo facing out, and we are going to give them an angle so it's easy to play both bells and avoid this up and down movement. So give it an angle so it's easier to play the high and the low bells. We're going to start with the words that we will have to say, and then we're going to play it as a body percussion, and then we're going to play with our instrument. So if we can have our hand like this, so here I'm going to have my low bell, and here I'm going to have my high pitch bell. So if we say, starting from our high pitch bell, it is fun to play Agogo. 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 So 2 different sounds, high pitch and low sound. So with our instrument, if you have an Agogo, we are going to play the following: 1, 2, 3, 4. It is fun to play Agogo. 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 And if you don't have an Agogo bell, then do we have an idea, Mike? Is there someone have an idea what we can use to play the Agogo pattern if we don't have the actual instrument?
Yes, certainly. I have here just a small saucepan and a wooden spoon. Now, hopefully most people can lay their hands on these. Again, you'll need to experiment around with the sounds just to see which ways you can get 2 different sounds. I've noticed if I use the back of the wooden spoon and hit it there, I get that sound. If I hit the edge there, I get a different sound. So there's my 2 different pitches, which are a bit like those 2 different bells. So it is fun to play. So that's my saucepan Agogo. And you could see, like Costas was doing, I was kind of having to move the Agogo. With the go-go bells that Costas has got, he can keep them at an angle all the time. But that's a bit trickier to do with the saucepan, so I have to kind of move the saucepan while I'm playing it just to make it a little bit easy. That takes a bit of coordination, but it is worth it in the long run. So we've been talking a bit about pitch. And Raoul, what do we mean in music? What do we mean when we talk about pitch?
Well, pitch is a very interesting word. It doesn't quite qualify what you're talking about, because it is the difference between sounds. Now, even at home, I bet you recognize a different pitch when dad speaks, hello, or when mom speaks, hello. So the dad's got a low pitch, and mom the high pitch, like Costa was showing us, the low pitch and the high. So it's the difference in sound. Oh, that is all the pitch. So low, high. I hope you understand that. Thank you.
Raoul, that was brilliant. Such a clear explanation. Thank you. Now, thinking still about that, with music, often something that sounds low is a bigger instrument than something that sounds high. We've already seen that before in our last video when we had the surdo part that was played on a very big drum, has a very deep sound. And then we had the tambourine that was played and it's very small, so it sounds very high. Well, one of the drums which is kind of in the middle is the drum that's called the caixa. Here is a caixa, and it's a Brazilian drum. It's the mid-range kind of drum, and it's basically like a Brazilian snare drum. And you can see it's got these wires on it here, which make it have a really lovely buzzy sound. And you often play it with just one stick because the way you often hold it, you put it in your arm like this, and you then have to play it here. So that again takes a bit of coordination to do that. Now, if you don't have a snare drum at home, you could see if maybe you've got something that's metal, maybe some kind of metal tin or something, and put something inside it that will kind of buzz a bit when you play it. Try it with a stick, but also try it with your hand as well. And the caixa part for our piece that we're going to play goes like this. It goes play caixa like this, play caixa like this, play caixa like this. Now, can we try and tap that with only one hand? Because remember, the caixa only gets one stick. Let's do it with one hand, and we're going to go play caixa like this, play caixa like this, play caixa like this, play caixa like this. So then when we put it on the drum, it sounds like this. Let's do it together. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. And play caixa like this, play caixa like this, play caixa like this. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Brilliant, well done. So we're getting there. We're learning lots of these different samba instruments. Do you remember in the last video I showed you the Gansa? The Gansa. So I'm just going to spotlight me to make me a little bit bigger so you can see this a little bit better. So with this shaker, we learned how to just do the nice shaker part thinking Gansa, Gansa. But you see, with a shaker there's a lot you can do with it. Rather than just shaking it forwards, you can kind of muck around a little bit with the height as well, make it go in high and low, because that changes the sound. Now, to get that high-low thing working does take a little bit of practice. So could you imagine that you are holding a Gansa at the two ends, just like I was doing. So put your hands like this and imagine that we are going to have the outside of our hand here, like around the outside of our little finger. And we are going to imagine that we are now chopping that on a wall. I'm going to go Gansa, 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 Gansa. That's like how we kind of learnt it last time. But now could you imagine that you are standing on front of your identical invisible twin? And you need to imagine that you've got your Gansa here in the middle, and you are going to imagine that you're going to bop your identical twin on the eyebrows and then on the chin. So it's going to go eyebrows, chin, eyebrows, chin, eyebrows, chin, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Now, why did I say the eyebrows and the chin? Well, if you do it any further apart, again, it's a bit like what I was talking about before in the last video. We need to think about what are these beads on the inside doing. If there's too much of a gap between the high and the low, it doesn't sound so good. If I keep just quite a small gap, it sounds so much better. So if you think about where your eyebrows are and where your chin is and how far apart that is, that's about a good gap to make sure that you get this really nice sounding Gansa part. So, can you get your Gansa shaker? Maybe it's like your homemade shaker like we had before. And can we have a go at it? We always start on high. For this style of samba music, we always start on high. There are other styles of samba music where we start on low, but this one we're going to start on high. You ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go! Gansa, 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 Gansa. 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And you know what? That does take a little bit of practice because it's quite a difficult coordination thing to think about going high and low, but also thinking about hitting forwards with each one. Because if I just go high-low, it doesn't sound so good. If I go and hit forwards as well as going high and low, it then has that lovely Gansa sound. So, we have now all these different parts that we can put together. So we've got the pseudo part that Fred's doing, su, do, su, do. We've got the tambourine part. This is easy, let's play the samba. We've got the agogo part. It is fun to play agogo. We've got the caixa part. Here we go, here's the caixa part as well, which was, do you remember the caixa part was play caixa like this? And we have the Gansa part as well. Shall we put it all together? Shall we see what it sounds like, everyone all together? You can choose whichever one of the rhythms that we've taught you. Watch whichever one of us has the same instrument and is playing the same rhythm that you want to play, and make sure you stick together. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, here we go. And... remember the pseudo part. Su, do, su, do, su, do, su, do, su, do, su, do. The tambourine part. This is easy, let's play the samba. 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 The agogo part. It's fun to play agogo. It is fun to play agogo. It is fun to play agogo. It is fun to play agogo. The caixa part. Play caixa like this. Play caixa like this. Play caixa like this. And the Gansa, 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 Gansa. High, low, high, low, high, low, yeah! Woo! Wow, well done everyone. That's sounding so good today. It's absolutely brilliant. So, remember like before, there is a quiz on the website for you to check that you have learnt everything and that you can remember everything we've taught you today. Because again, we've taught you lots of things. So have a look at that quiz, see if you can get all the questions right, and we will see you again for the next video. Thanks very much everybody. Bye.